has a video game on the horizon, which kind of makes those 12 hours of working on the Doctor Who video game history video kind of redundant. Doctor Who Infinity will arrive early next year from Doctor Who Legacy developers Tiny Rebel Games. The new title, made exclusively for mobile devices, has monetary backing from the Welsh Government, as well as UK publisher-developer Double Even. The game will feature similar mechanics to the aforementioned bejeweled Candy Crush Doctor Who Legacy thing, but will feature a stronger emphasis on story, with visuals crafted by various artists who have worked on Doctor Who's many comics. There's currently 5 stories planned, which will be individually available to download, with the first being the Dalek Invasion of Time, sporting the 12th Doctor and Missy. Now I loved, well, I mean, let's just say liked Doctor Who Legacy. I played it for about 3 or 4 weeks, and you know, then got over it because it was just swiping colours in a pattern and then, whoa, look, a character, or whoa, look, a costume for a character. And it's not really where I think Doctor Who belongs. Now they say that it's going to be story focused, more so than Legacy, but you know, Doctor Who Legacy was story focused to begin with, but then the story just went off on a tangent and it just became, oh, you know, here's some monsters, defeat them. Oh wow, that was called the Sontaran destruction. So I just feel like Doctor Who belongs in, you know, Telltale games. If you've ever played a Telltale game, the most recent one, you know, with the Guardians of the Galaxy series that's going on right now, it's, you know, a sci-fi interplanetary thing, and it's like an adventure that you're playing as the main character, and, you know, making choices that affects, you know, a roster of characters and a universe, and I just think that's where Doctor Who belongs. And, you know, we almost got it with the adventure games, but, you know, that got cancelled. So I just feel like Doctor Who belongs in the sort of Telltale story-based space, more so than, you know, bejeweled Candy Crush swiping. But moving on, Cardiff may be getting a Doctor Who experience again sooner than expected. The Doctor Who experience closed its doors for the final time last month, much to the sadness of Whovians literally everywhere. However, Cardiff Cabinet member Russell Goodway has revealed many possible new Who attractions have already been discussed. A quote from Goodway reads, "Discussions have been ongoing with BBC Worldwide to secure a replacement Doctor Who attraction for the city." Goodway also claims that he will be putting forward proposals to Cardiff City's officials shortly. There's been no official word from Cardiff City officials, so, you know, the credency, you know the word, the truthfulness to this story is yet to be seen, but it's very interesting that this is even possibly happening. You know, the idea that Doctor Who Experience finished because their land rights were over, but it was always apparently a, you know, a temporary exhibition, but, you know, it definitely got bigger than that. So the idea that Doctor Who Experience might come back is exciting, especially if it's in a new venue. They'd be able to plan it a bit better lighting, because, I mean, at least when I went, everything was very dimly lit, and a bit cluttered, and I imagine as years went on there was more stuff, so it was probably even more so that, so a new venue would be good, but it's not clear that it's even going to be the museum layout of the experience, in that it's, you know, new attractions, which is strange to me, that they wouldn't just do the experience again, because if it's an attraction, would you not go to the London Paramount thing that's apparently happening? I mean, that place is going to have Sherlock, Top Gear and Doctor Who. Admittedly, 2 of those shows have kind of died in the arse, but it's weird that there would be a different Doctor Who attraction in a different location, and I'd be interested to know if BBC Worldwide would even put any money towards a second one in Cardiff. It's very strange. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments. But moving on, last week, or last 2 weeks, because this is now a fortnightly show, I had a proposition that they would make the 10th Planet Part 4, considering they had all the sets. They'd just remake it and reshoot it, and director Rachel Talalay has stoked that fire. She's got a stoker, and she stoked a fire. Is it called a stoker? Probably not. I've probably cut out of this by now, right? Speaking on the This Time Next Week podcast, Talalay said, and I quote, "I think I've watched the 10th Planet more than anybody else. Sections of it I've watched over and over again for reasons that will become clearer over Christmas. And I've also watched different reconstructions and then animated reconstructions, so yeah, I've watched sections of it a lot. While it could be, and probably is, just research to direct an episode that features the First Doctor around that time in his life, it's very interesting that she's like specific bits and, you know, animated reconstructions, because for the most part, you could kind of just watch the episode, you know. The other three are there, but she's watching reconstructions, which means she's looking at telesnaps, which means she wants to get angles perfect. And you know, how much of an hour-long episode can you spend recreating a different one? You don't want to be doing that the whole time, but it seems like she's looked at the entirety of Part 4, so it's like, how much did you actually need to get in your brain there, Rachel? How much do you actually need? So it kind of fills me with hope that she's so in-depth, so researched, that they just went, hey Rachel, you know how you've got it all in your mind now? Do you want to just film Part 4? As you can see, I'm very excited by the concept. Now, I've got to move on, because there's actually no other information on that. That was supposed to be a quickie story, but you know, I'm just so excited about that. So let's move on. It's obviously the start of the month now, and you've probably got all your savings from the previous month, so you probably want to know what the best things are that are coming out this month. So here's what's materializing this month. Segment. Big Finish have an inability to give us a cold hard date when it comes to something they're bringing out, so at some point this month, Paul McGann will return to the Time War in 4 new stories. The Time War Series 1 is the first run of prequels to the War Doctor audio series, and will help to further backstory of characters and planets that were caught in the crossfire. Bored of prequels? Try a sequel, as Torchwood Alien Among Us 2 also drops this month. 4 new post-Miracle Day stories featuring Jack and Gwen are available to pre-order now on the Big Finish website, and as per Big Finish vagueness, we'll release at some point this month. But moving on to a bit more permanence, Ghost Stories will release on the 20th of October. The paperback collection of Titan's Further Adventures of Grant and Lucy features all 4 issues of the limited run. And despite no one ever really asking for it, it's a fun series which nails the humour and style of the return of Dr. Mysterio. But something that fans inadvertently asked for is 100 illustrated adventures. The title arrives on the 24th and features 100 pieces of original episode-based fan art along with depictions of the featured episodes. A Doctor Who fan art competition was held earlier this year, and of the thousands of entries, these 100 were chosen. A beautiful idea and a sense of fan involvement I hope continues. And, continuing with beautiful art, the 26th heralds Dalek the astounding untold history of the greatest enemies of the universe. This 320-page monster of a title, literally, the title is so friggin' long, tells the grand old history of the Daleks, spanning all of their appearances from episodes, audios, books, and comics. This is seriously exciting. Get ready to absorb everything Dalek with exclusive artworks of the mutants' history. And rounding out this month is something that has become increasingly redundant. It's the Doctor Who official annual for 2018. Arriving on the 31st, read outdated facts, puzzles that a toddler could kinda just scribble on to complete, and comic stories that will never quite look as polished as they should. My highlight? That friggin' Dalek book. I need it ASAP. What are you keen for? Did I miss what you are keen for? Let me know down in the comments, but to round off this good old Who's episode, I found something in the Psychic Cube this week, so here it is. As you all surely know, I love visual effects and editing, so it's always cool to see things broken down, especially for Doctor Who, because we don't get it all that often. It's also cool to see how much is actually practical in the show. I mean, not story-wise practical, just practical effects, things that are actually there. But don't forget that you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the Doctor of Who. Also, I've been dropping my Oz Comic Con videos slowly over the channel. Right now, my tour of the floor, my interview with Loserfruit, and my interview with the lovely Catherine Stewart are available to watch right now. Check back in soon because I'll have an interview with Sir Percival himself, Tom Hopper, as well as a quick chat with awesome cosplayers Laura and Chris. So hit subscribe to never miss a beat. But until the next video, bye bye.